It's my birthday. It's my birthday today. Was born November 10th, 1958, which makes me 60 today. My 60th birthday. Thank you. I know many of you are posting even now, happy birthday, Steve, and thank you very much for the thoughtful birthday greetings. I appreciate them. So I got a couple things that I'd like to share with you on my birthday. The first is I got to show you this. Shannon texted me this yesterday. Here's a story which appeared in The Guardian. I like The Guardian. Big fan of The Guardian. But here, a Dutchman, our friend Emil Rattlebond, he's 69, and he started a legal fight in the Netherlands for his legal age to be changed to 49. Why are you doing this, Emil? Why are you doing this? You're 69. And well, it turns out that he likens it to being defined as an age. He likens it to gender identification and feels that he identifies as younger than 69. And he would prefer to be thought of as 49. And now he goes on for some reason. So this is our buddy Emil right here. If you read through this, I'll link to this story below. He's a positivity guru. Basically, he says, these are some of the highlights. When I'm 69, I am limited. If I am 49, I can buy a new house, drive a different car, he said. I can take up more work. When I'm on Tinder and it says I'm 69, I don't get an answer. When I'm 49, with the face I have, I'll be in a luxurious position. The doctors have told him that he has the body of a 45-year-old man, and he describes himself as a young god. You know, I think if I was describing myself as a young god, regardless of which age, I might be limited on Tinder. Not sure. Don't really have my Tinder chops up, Emil. But seriously. So, I mean, he's saying that there's ageism, and I get that. I understand that he's concerned about ageism, but I don't think fighting to have your legal age changed to 49 so you can have a fresh lease on life is the answer. You're a smart guy. You're well-spoken. You're a positivity guru? Well, here, I got some positivity for you, Emil. I'm having trouble understanding why he can't get a house or drive a car at 69 unless there's some rules that they won't give a mortgage to somebody of his age, or perhaps they have driving rules. But I would take those to the court. I would say to the courts, you know, if this bank won't give me a mortgage and I'm 69, yet I believe I am fully capable of repaying the mortgage, and I would fight that rather than fight the real ageism, rather than fight the perception of age. Does that make sense? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Does this piss you off as much as he pisses me off? Like, I'm sure Emil's a nice guy. I'm not sure I look at him there and I say godlike, but I'm sure he's a nice guy. And I'm sorry that he's struggling a bit on Tinder, but I think that there's a better way for Emil to approach things rather than to tell the world that we're better if we're younger. And so he's suing to be seen as younger. There. Thank you for letting me have my little birthday rant. Now let me talk to you about something else that's been kind of percolating in the back of my mind, and that is, how do you identify? Who do you identify? Like, I don't identify with Emil very strongly, and I don't imagine many of you do either. But when we talk about generations, do you identify with our generation, with the generation you're in, be it Gen X or Baby Boom or whatever? Do you identify strongest with that? Or do you identify most strongly with your nationality or with your religion? What is the group that you identify with? I'm curious as to that, because as I've been kind of going on this journey, I realize that I very strongly identify as a baby boomer. And increasingly, as I think about it and talk about it more, the term and the generation that I am in the cohort of is becoming more important to me. It's becoming more important to me. And looking at the strengths and the weaknesses and the challenges that our generation faces is becoming more and more germane to me as we go along. Far more so. Religion's never been a really huge part of my life. I was raised in the Catholic Church. That might have something to do with it. I went to Catholic boys' school. But I suppose I did identify fairly strongly with that in my younger years. but not so much now. Certainly my nationality I do identify strongly with, but I don't know if I think of myself first as Canadian as much as I think of myself first as a baby boomer. I think it's baby boomer first. I'm not positive, but right now, that's the space I'm in. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I'd love to hear how you identify. Now, there is a newer term than baby boomer and Gen X. They've broken us down now into these terms of digital immigrant and digital native. And I'm not such a big fan of that. I get where it's coming from. Have you heard that? Yeah. I'm not such a big fan of those terms. Here's the issue that I have. And of course, what it means is digital immigrants are those of us who didn't have computers as youth, who weren't born into a digital universe. Those of us who can remember using a telephone book and a rotary telephone, and snail mail was the only way of communicating back and forth. People who were there before technology exploded, before social and internet and digital technology, the digital explosion. And the kids that were born, and the young people that were born, knowing nothing except the digital world. We're raised with it. So they are, of course, the digital natives. But here's the issue I have with that. If you call me a digital immigrant, my grandparents were immigrants coming to Canada from Italy in 1920. And when they came to Canada, they immigrated. They undertook the responsibilities of being an immigrant. They knew they had to learn a new language. They knew they had to learn a new culture. They knew they had to learn a new monetary system. Everything in their life would change when they came to this new land, and they recognized that, and they accepted the responsibility, and they accepted what a burden it would be for them to learn this as well as raise their young family in this new country. They understood that, and they took it on, and they excelled. They did very well. I don't remember waking up one morning and saying, I'd like to move to a world where change is relentless and constant, where a digital revolution is going to make everything I know tomorrow obsolete, and lifelong learning and trying to stay up is going to become just a chore. It's going to become a burden for me to stay on top of all of the changes. I want to live in a world where kids understand the mechanisms that we communicate with more intimately than the adults of the world. I want to live in that. I want to live in a world where my car, or my first car, costs less than my telephone costs that I carry around in my pocket. That's the world I want to live in. See, none of us signed up for that. None of us signed up for relentless change. So I don't think we're digital immigrants. No. I believe the proper term would be digital refugees. The world changed around us. We were forced into this new world, and we had absolutely no say in it. Now, here's the kicker. Being a refugee or being an immigrant, it doesn't matter. We live now in this new world, and we still have to discharge our duties. We still have to do what it is we do. We still have to raise our families. We still have to provide leadership. We still have to figure out how to make this world safe and civil and a better place. And it's more complex now than it ever was before we were disenfranchised from the staid pace of the world before. But that is the world we live in. And we can be a little petulant about the fact that the world is changing around us and we didn't ask for this change. But our responsibilities remain the same. So that's my thoughts as I turn 60. First of all, I'm going to be watching this court case in the Netherlands, and if this dude manages to reduce his age to 49, I'm going to be some kind of choked at that. And I'm looking forward to your feedback. What do you have to say about how you identify, and what are your thoughts on the whole digital immigrant, digital native thing? Fascinated to see your comments. And as usual, I will read each and every one, and I look forward to what you have to say. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you have other baby boomers or Gen Xers that you know of that might be interested in kind of getting on and having this conversation, I encourage you to share this video with them. Till next time, I'm a 60-year-old Steve Dotto. Have fun storming a castle.